our viewers, welcome again to the Entrepreneur TV show. My name is Lucien Jeffrey. I'm so happy to bring you great guests here who are sharing important information with us and with you. This is Entrepreneur TV, and my name is Lucien Jeffrey, your host for the last 7 years or so, and we are on Rogers TV, and I thank Rogers TV for helping us bring this information to our viewers. Today, I have a great guest for you who is going to talk to us about AI. It's the first time that we are going to talk about AI and technology on this show since AI became an important topic. So let's welcome Marcus. Hello, Marcus. Welcome to the Entrepreneur TV.
Hi, Lucy. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. I'm happy to have you, Marcus. We are going to have great conversations here. But before we do that, I would like you to introduce yourself to our viewers. People say that they do business with people they know, like, and trust. So that's our always open conversation for our viewers to get to know you. Tell us a little bit about you before you started your business.
Of course. Thank you so much. I've lived in Southern Ontario my entire life. I've always had a deep love of science and technology and business. I played a lot of sports growing up. I was always outside. And even my wife and I today, we do a lot outside with hiking and outdoor activities. But I have always been a lover of technology. I spent about 15 years working with startups and incubators around Canada, the United States, a few globally. And I started Minds on Fire to help entrepreneurs and startups, and I can't tell you how many times I've met a company that was struggling to build, an MVP, a prototype, some first version of a dream that they've had for a long time. And I saw that everywhere I worked. So I started Minds on Fire 10 years ago now to bring those resources to companies, to help companies scale, to help entrepreneurs launch and ignite the ideas that they have, that they want to change the world with. So I've always enjoyed and loved business and technology, and starting Minds on Fire to help accelerate that was just a natural progression for me. I love it.
Thank you. Excellent. And I don't know how we met, Marcus. I think you sent me a message on LinkedIn or I sent you a message. I don't know. But I love meeting great people like you, young people actually, because you help us with things that technology, sometimes we don't understand it very well. Sometimes we don't understand this AI very well, and we count on you. So 10 years and dealing with technology, congratulations. And then you started your own business so you can help other businesses. You are our support team in that case. I thank you. But let's talk about the name of your company. I like the name of your company. I know you might have told me before you joined the Entrepreneur Nation, but I might have forgotten. So tell us, including letting our viewers know why you called it Minds on Fire. I like the name. So why did you think of that name?
Oh, thank you so much. I love this. The name is very near and dear to my heart. A part of my love and passion, for learning and education, neuroscience has always been one of my absolute favorites. Any information that I can get my hands on about the brain, I love it. I've read about it for as long as I can remember. What would it have been? About 16 years ago now, I was reading articles, as I often did and do today. I read an article about an experiment at MIT, up in Massachusetts. This was an experiment where a group of researchers brought a number of individuals who had been screened for their level of ambitiousness, from low to high. They would ask people, if you could do anything with your day, what would you do? And they would bring in a spread of people from, I would sit on the couch, I would just relax, all the way to visionaries and extremely ambitious people, people who would never stop. They want to build their dreams. They took these people and put them under a functional MRI and several other brain scanning instruments. And they found that when a human being, when an individual is at their most ambitious, when they're thinking ambitiously, when they're thinking about what they dream about, the energy in their minds, the synapses firing, the different regions of their brains that start to wake up, start to fire in a pattern that resembles combustion. When a person is visionary, when a person is executing on their ambitiousness, their mind under a brain scan literally looks like it is on fire. And when I learned this, it blew my mind. Like it set my mind on fire, if I can use my own analogy. And that stuck with me forever. I had already been extremely passionate, extremely ambitious. I already knew that entrepreneurship and innovation was something that I loved, but reading that article, it immediately put that line, mind on fire, be a mind on fire, think like a mind on fire. It put so many lines in my mind. And then in 2017, when I went to grow Minds on Fire and launch it for the first time and incorporate and build it into a true company, that was the only name I could think of. The Minds on Fire. It was the only name I could have possibly imagined. So it is a very neuroscience based, believe in yourself, be ambitious type of name. That's always what it's been meant to be. But thank you for asking. I mean, that's where the name came from.
Awesome. That's great. So then when I spend sleepless nights thinking about a business idea, my mind is on fire. I like that, Marcus.
Exactly.
Thank you. I think we should inspire more businesses and say, let's keep going. I like that. So I wanted then to jump into your services. Now that we know you, we know the company name, how it came about. And as I said, I like it. What are the services that you offer? Minds on Fire describes itself as supporting businesses build the systems that run their growth. What does that
Mm.
mean? And what services do you offer?
What that means is using technology to automate what we're already doing well. What our services focus on is accelerating business growth using technology. Now, that doesn't mean throwing as much technology at a business as we possibly can, because we know that's where a lot of businesses get into trouble. We come into companies, whether they are new, established, growing, whether they need help, whether they're in the best times. We diagnose the workflows and processes going on within the business. We diagnose what workflows right now are making you your most profitable revenue, seeing your best growth, what are causing the best efficiencies, the best work culture within your organization. We diagnose what the best way for you to grow your business is and how to automate that so it keeps growing even without you. So when we come into any business, we ask, what are you doing now? What's working? What is not working? What technology are you using especially? We take a lot of time optimizing the technology that companies already have, recommending maybe we remove some, maybe we add some. And with the current trends today and for the last 2.5 years, where it makes sense, we'll implement AI into those processes as well. But our core service, we figure out how to help businesses grow like clockwork with as little work as possible, using automations and technology.
Wonderful. I thank you, Marcus. Many business owners are interested. Um, Actually, I wanted to talk about artificial intelligence first. Is one of the biggest topics in business today, right? AI, everybody is talking about it. How are you seeing AI transform the way organizations operate?
Oh, they are transforming them at light speed. AI is incredible. I mean, artificial intelligence, it has been around for a long time, but the difference that we're seeing now is how accessible it is and how cheap it is and how easy it is to code and build and augment and to install into your businesses. So, with artificial intelligence, I don't even know where to start. I mean, businesses today, now that artificial intelligence is here, can see efficiencies that one person can be as efficient as 30 with the proper processes and technology in place with them. Now companies can turn legacy platforms, legacy databases, old processes into the brain of their organization. They can clone themselves and be everywhere at once. There's an infinite number of possibilities now that we have this freely available, cheap, and becoming very democratized technology It is the equalizer. Suddenly every single business, if they will sit down and line up their processes, look for the efficiencies, do the work to plan out the best version of their business, with artificial intelligence now, a small business can be as powerful as a large enterprise with the technology that you can utilize for yourself. It is a sometimes scary, daunting new thing for people to walk into, but it doesn't need to be. It is the greatest efficiency boost you could ever possibly see in your business. And I recommend it to everyone in a controlled, planned, slow, intentional way.
Actually, I like that. Controlled, planned, slow, intentional way. I wish I can keep repeating that to other business owners, Marcus. But with that said, then business owners are interested. We are interested in AI. But most of us, not me, but most business owners don't know where to start. What practical advice would you give to them in terms of where to start?
Oh, that's a great question. I right away start small. Small, small, small. Do not think about how you implement AI into your entire corporation. Do not think about putting it in everyone's hands right away to grab all of those efficiencies as quickly as you can. Start with one thing, something small, something that you know is frustrating you, that is wasting time for you. It can be pick two tabs on your browser that you know every single day you're going to copy and paste information between and automate that. Bring in an AI chatbot that you can just inquire, what emails do I have today? What do I have on my schedule today? Start out with something very, very small. Try to take back 10 minutes of copy and pasting. Try to take back 10 minutes of some information that you're repeating to people every single day. Pick something small, pick something you do every single day, implement AI in a small, controlled way, just so you can get used to it and so that you can use AI without it being this daunting, give up all control. Suddenly you feel like you're living in the internet type of bubble. Pick something small, automate it, get yourself used to AI.
And markers can help with that because sometimes you might say take something small and people don't know which one is that they need to take. That's where
Absolutely.
you come in to help. And markers, I don't really promote businesses as such. We are bringing information, but for you, I'll put your website on the screen and encouraging business owners to reach out to you because making that first step, markers, if people don't know where to go, they will not even make the step. So I think when you look at the workflows, then you tell them this is the initial step that you recommend them. And I like how you said prescribe, right? Prescribe. You
Mm.
look at the problem and prescribe a solution. Thank you. Marcus, I'm very proud of you. And I believe that
Thank
our
you.
viewers are. So let me ask you, can you give us, without disclosing names, an example of how automation and AI implementation helped one of your clients achieve results?
Oh, absolutely. And I love this. I know the perfect example. And of course I'll keep names anonymous, but there is a client I've been working with since February of 2025. This is a recent example, but it's probably the most beneficial that comes to mind. So when I met her, she was operating a store in Cambridge, Ontario, another business in Waterloo, another that was operating down in the United States, which was shipping across the border. When I met her, we met in a marketing conversation. How do I increase my business? How do I increase revenues? That's one of the most common questions we have ever gotten since Minds on Fire started. She asked me this question. We say, okay, let's dive in. Let's diagnose. Let's look at the businesses. Let's look at what we can do to increase revenue first. So we looked at marketing. We looked at tracking. We looked at all tech that we have for what we call offensive operations to push the businesses out, to find new clients, to find new opportunities. And we did that. We implemented marketing. We had a great amount of success. We moved one of her businesses online. We had over 2,000 orders in the first month. She had a great brand, great products. It all fit up. It fit extremely well. Over the months, as we started to introduce to her different AI platforms and different automations and workflows that we could put in place, She resisted at first, but we started slowly implementing. We started with automated communication. We automated her welcome emails, her outreach, her follow-ups. We started to bring in data from how her clients were responding on Shopify, happened to be where she had this store. We started to give her better workflows that would reach out to clients at smarter times, at the right times, that would keep in touch with people, that would respond to the clicks and interactions that people were having. And we're growing her business and growing her business. But then she started to tell us, this is too much. Like now I'm doing too much on the ordering, on admin. I'm answering too many questions. I'll be stuck in this business forever if this is all we do. I love that we're growing, but I feel stuck. So we brought on the second layer. We brought in our AI automations and our workflow automations. We automated her outreach to clients as well as her responses to clients. We automated her dashboards. We automated reporting coming to her. More importantly, we enabled her employees on the ground to run their own reports and to find their own information. Long story short, after us spending about 6 months working through individual workflows, working through each of her employees, working through how the business functions, we were able to reduce her by so much time over a year that she was able to move out of the city, now put the business into the hands of both of her employees, run a second and third business online from dashboards that she has in front of her, move to a new house on a beach where she could finally relax and start her dream business of a women's retreat, which we're now also helping her grow, but is thinking of more and more businesses. When I met her, she was extremely stressed, talking about how she was stuck in this company, loved it, but needed better, knew that she could do better. And once she, and I thank her for this, once she trusted us to bring in our systems, to bring in our processes, today I actually go to visit her at her beachfront property in a month out of appreciation for how much we've done for her. And she tells me all the time about how much less stress she has. And this all came from her being able to be open to the process. We picked one workflow at a time, one dashboard at a time, one report to automate at a time. And every single one took iterations. It takes putting a new process in front of someone and then asking them, how did this work? Did it work? Could we have done better? Could this have been more efficient? Is there a better way that we can do this, even as we're already trying to find the better way? So it's been an exciting ride, and she'll be starting 2 more companies throughout the summer because of how confident she feels now that she can automate and run these businesses without them running her life.
Marcus, can you see how I'm smiling the entire time? I wish there's an emoji here to say thumbs up, thumbs up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Marcus.
you.
Thank you for supporting businesses. And as I've said, you're the first one I've interviewed here talking about AI and workflow processes. I thank you because that's what businesses need. But I know that sometimes it takes time for them to actually accept. So what I want to ask you is, what are some of the misconceptions or concerns business owners have about automation and AI, and how do you address them? People have heard all the negative things out there. How do you address it? Do you really have to convince people for them to accept, for you to help them? Let us know how it's working out there.
Absolutely. So this is definitely a struggle and stress for a lot of business owners now. I would say the 2 most prevalent things that I hear are, first, that if I bring an AI, I have to bring it in everywhere, and then it will suddenly dominate my business and it will have taken over everything. That's one thing that I hear, this very all or nothing, black and white thinking around AI. It feels like once you expose your company to artificial intelligence, that suddenly it won't run rampant. We hear from the old Terminator movies, the Skynet analogy all the time, that this tech and AI is going to take over and steal everything. That's the first thing that we hear about, I hear companies worrying about. The second, from more individuals, even business owners, is that AI is just meant to replace them. That's a fear and a misconception I hear all the time. First of all, in terms of AI implementing in your business, you can start as slowly or as quickly as you want. AI is something that we have a lot of control over once we plan and implement it properly. So that's the first misconception. Know that you can start as slowly as you want with artificial intelligence. There are plenty of ways that we have now to protect your data, protect your privacy, protect your employees, protect your existing systems, to test AI so that it does not touch and grab all the data in your company. It is very, very easy for us to keep control over that. So that's the first thing. Don't be scared of it. The second piece is that it may replace us. And I get it. And I have thought that years and years and years ago, before I really understood AI as well. I thought it will replace us. It will come in and do everything. But that is just not the case. AI augments us. It amplifies us. AI, when used properly, when you've thought through it first, why am I going to use this? What tasks do I want to automate? What time am I trying to save? Once you have that through your mind, it becomes an augmentation. It amplifies you. When you bring in AI done properly, when you're bringing in your entire organization, when you're bringing in your management, when you're having everyone at the table talk about how they can implement AI into their days, what tasks they could take away that are already repetitive or wasting time, it amplifies, it adds strength to your employees. It can be an absolutely fantastic assistant, and it allows your employees to go from doing manual tasks or repetitive tasks to judgment and managing the work and to helping your clients and to thinking about innovation again. When you can take this more menial work away from them and just let them all soar, it can enable, as long as we plan it in properly.
Awesome. Marcus, you're the best. I don't know what else to say. You are the best. Every
You're so
business
sweet.
owner should speak to you. You've been part of the Entrepreneur Nation, I think, for 3 years. But what I say is, when we meet at the chapter meeting, for that 1 minute introduction is not enough. So that's why I even encourage one on one and members meeting and talking. I'm happy that I'm getting to understand more. And now my mind is on fire. I'm like, there are so many people I can introduce you to, Marcus, and I thank you. So we are running short of time here, so we'll speed up the next 2, 3 questions. So looking ahead, Marcus, what trends in technology, automation, and AI do you believe will have the biggest impact on businesses over the next few years? What's the future like?
Of course. So I'll say the two biggest pieces that we see on the horizon will be, first of all, agent to agent communication, agents managing agents. AI agents are the future. There has been an area within our business of optimizing tech stacks, which has always come with its own challenges and struggles. Technology is extremely broad. It is extremely complex. There are millions of technology platforms out there today, ones that have been built, sold. AI and agents in the future will be connecting absolutely everything. One of the biggest trends that we are seeing is hyper personalization already. We will have and it's already happening, but over the next months and several years, every single advertisement we see, every show that we see, all of the content showed to us on the internet, nearly everything put in front of us will be optimized exactly for us. You could see TV shows, you could see advertisements that no other human being is seeing. They've been generated in front of you in real time based on who you are. And there's a lot of interesting tech there, but I even mean this as a bit of a warning. The way that we're all going to see it first is the largest corporations and enterprises launching very large, very powerful AI models over top of the entire population. I would say that the biggest thing that everyone needs is to educate themselves on AI now. Educate themselves on the capabilities of it, educate themselves on how to stay safe from it, how to keep their privacy, their data safe, how to make sure that they understand what this next technology wave coming at them is, because it will have benefits. If suddenly your phone knows the moment you need something and it's something that is life-saving or that helps your business or that helps your life or your family, there will be a lot of benefits that we see from this. But we all want to be cautious. In any new technology, we can see it be over adopted. Take the internet as it came out through the 1980s and 1990s, leading to the internet crash in the 2000s. We will see ebbs and flows, we will see changes. Educate yourself. Just learn about what's coming here. It does not have to be scary at all if you lean in a bit and just learn.
Thank you, Marcus. Can you see I'm always smiling? Because everything you're saying, I'm just absorbing it. And I hope
Well,
our
thank
viewers are
you.
doing the same. We have a minute or so, Marcus, so I'm sorry to rush you, but this question will take less than a minute. As the founder and entrepreneur, what has been the most important lesson you've learned while building and growing Minds on Fire?
Oh, wonderful. I mean, that must be something around people. Just appreciate people, appreciate their ideas, appreciate their culture, appreciate the fight that they give you. Working in technology so long has, yes, taught me an enormous amount about technology, but it's also shown me just the pricelessness of the people beneath it. It takes a real solution to a problem to build a business. I want to caution everyone that AI is incredible, technology is incredible, but it takes that solid foundation. And so my work at Minds on Fire, and my absolute favorite piece of it, is meeting entrepreneurs and literally asking them what sets your mind on fire. Because it's that passion and that knowledge and experience that will set you apart. Technology's coming, AI is here, and it's coming even more. So I would say the best thing you can do is figure out what you're most passionate about. Find your purpose, find what you're building, and then once you find that, there will be technology everywhere to accelerate you as much as you want.
Awesome, Marcus. Thank you. Thank you. And as we close this, I want to ask you a question. How has the Entrepreneur Nation helped you, or what do you feel is the benefit of being part of this network? You're a member of the Waterloo chapter. I appreciate you, Marcus. Tell us a little bit more about your experience.
Of course. And you're right, I can't quite remember how we were put in touch originally. I think I was referred by another friend, a lawyer, who spoke very highly of the group. And the experience with the Entrepreneur Nation has been incredible. You have definitely succeeded in building an organization that is all high caliber individuals, people who take themselves seriously, professionals, business owners, and I appreciate very much the culture that you've built around it. And I'm happy to say that now, after the time I've been here, I have friends and many clients throughout several of the chapters in Entrepreneur Nation, and it has supported our growth for years. And I can't say enough good things about it.
Thank you, Marcus. And now that I've spent 30 minutes on TV chatting with you and understanding your business more, the sky is the limit going forward. Thank you for finding the time to come here. And our viewers, thank you so much for watching.